Mercedes has had a rocky start to the new regulations in 2022, failing to compete for victory in either of the first two races despite having won the previous 8 F1 Constructors' Championships. Having said that, the team has ample resources and manpower to work on their 2022 Challenger before it's too late. So, how does the paddock feel about the Mercedes situation, and what did Toto Wolff say about it? Stay tuned to find out. Now, Mercedes' fall from grace is even more dramatic given their dominance during the turbo hybrid era, when they won 7 World Drivers' Championships and 8 World Constructors' Championships. Team principal Toto Wolff says the team's uncompetitive start to the 2022 season reminds him of the previous campaign in which they failed to win the World Championship. The reigning Constructors' Champions qualified a full second slower in the previous round in Jeddah, where Lewis Hamilton did not make the cut for Q2. Wolff said afterwards that he was reminded of their previous campaign before the V6 hybrid turbo era began. "I love competition, and I've always loved competition. We had a really strong run of 8 years where we were leading the pack, not always, but we kind of managed our way into the lead. This time for me feels a bit like 2013, where we just weren't up to the speed with the Red Bull and probably also not with the Ferraris, but we kept fighting. This is how I feel at the moment." Mercedes finished second to Ferrari in the 2013 championship, while Red Bull easily won the title. Wolff stated that his team must fight harder after a poor start to 2022. "It's certainly totally unacceptable where we are in performance. We're third on the road and sometimes not even like today. It's just not an option to stay where we are." George Russell, who stands 4th in the Drivers' Championship after leaving Saudi Arabia, said the team's focus on addressing the porpoising with its W13 chassis is preventing it from focusing on other areas where it can improve. "It's tricky because we're putting all of our effort into solving this porpoising issue and it's not allowing us to focus on other things. As a driver, it's not allowing me to focus on the driving as much. The fine-tuning of the balance, the setup, we can't really do because all of our emphasis is on solving this issue. So we've got work to do." According to Russell, the car's tendency to bounce at high speeds is also forcing Mercedes to compromise its setup. "It's exactly the same as we've seen since day one. We have the porpoising issue. The only way to run is to raise the car very high, and obviously with this ground effect car we lose all of the downforce. So we know that if we can get the car on the ground there is a huge chunk of lap time there, but we can't achieve that at the moment. It's all well and good saying that, but we can't physically achieve that right now, so we need to have a rethink." In Jeddah, George Russell finished 5th ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who finished a distant 10th. A bigger gap was seen in qualifying, however, as the young Brit outqualified the 7-time world champion by over a second. With this, Russell appears to be more at ease with the machinery, with Red Bull chief Helmut Marko revealing what he believes is a struggling Hamilton in the aftermath of Mercedes' difficulties. Russell is not at Hamilton's level yet, but Lewis completely screwed up in Bahrain, and since then he's been struggling with the setup and getting the tyres into the right temperature window. Mercedes' woes open up a huge opportunity for some midfield teams to challenge for 5th and 6th on the grid, as we saw with Haas at the season opener in Bahrain, where Kevin Magnussen managed a miraculous 5th, although he has Red Bull's DNFs to thank for that. Valtteri Bottas is one such driver who has recognised the opportunity and believes his team should aim for the best of the rest status behind Ferrari and Red Bull. After finishing 6th in Bahrain and retiring in Saudi Arabia, the Finnish driver is 9th in the championship. After qualifying 6th and 8th in the first 2 race weekends, Bottas believes Alfa Romeo should aim to be at the front of the midfield for the rest of the season. "I think that needs to be the target now. We seem to be more or less in the same place than in Bahrain, even though I thought Saudi Arabia could be maybe more difficult. I think aiming to be best of the rest is good motivation and a good target. So hopefully eventually we can fight for 5th position in the race. That would be a good step for us." Between 2017 and 2021, the Finnish driver was with Mercedes for 5 years but was unable to win the championship, with Lewis Hamilton and then Max Verstappen taking the title instead. In 2022, he'll be in new surroundings, having joined Alfa for the start of F1's new era, and he'll be encouraged by the early gains the teams appears to have made. In an interview, Bottas revealed what he learned while at Mercedes that he can now apply to Alfa. "I've definitely grown as a person a lot. Obviously, I've learned how a championship winning team works and what kind of mindset it needs. I've learned a lot about teamwork, I've learned a lot of technical knowledge. I think I've also learned to deal with setbacks. Sometimes I put too much pressure on myself. I've had many ups and downs and learned how to bounce back, and I think it's just made me a lot stronger person overall. I almost feel nothing can really shake me. I'm expecting a positive season for us as a team, but that will require a lot of work. I think it's going to be a very rewarding feeling once we get the results that we want. I think that reward, that feeling that comes out of it, those moments are going to be the highlights. While Alfa Romeo tries to establish itself at the top of the midfield and Mercedes tries to overcome their setbacks, the main championship rivalry has shifted to Ferrari and Red Bull. Nonetheless, it's Ferrari that is the centre of attention. The resurgent Scuderia has had a fantastic start to the season, scoring 78 points out of a possible 88 in the first two races in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia to open up an unexpected 40-point lead at the top. Their charge has been led by Charles Leclerc, who has a pole and a victory, while neither the Monegasque nor teammate Carlos Sainz has finished a race outside of the top three. It's a fantastic start to the year, but the team is well aware that their work is far from done. Because the cars are still very new, there will be a development battle throughout the season, which Ferrari has struggled with in the past, most notably in 2017 and 2018, when they started well but fell behind Mercedes in the title race. And Ferrari boss Mattia Binotto is well aware of this, but he believes his team is much better prepared to compete for the title this year than in previous years. For us to be there in the fight, that was our objective to start the season, and we can be very pleased. Keeping up the level on a long season is a challenge, not just for us but all the teams. It's true that our competitors have very strong development. In 2017 and 18 we lost a bit of ground, but since then, in car design, we've improved our wind tunnel, technologies, processes and simulations, and so today we're much better prepared than in the past to do a good job with development. We also have a budget cap which will affect the rate of development. We need to make sure that we have the right policy on that, as it could be a game changer in the fight for development. Ferrari's commanding lead is due to both performance and dependability, with Mercedes trailing in terms of pace and Red Bull, while evenly matched with Ferrari, suffering a pointless double DNF in the season opener. However, Binotto cites the Milton Keynes outfit as the main rival. I believe Red Bull is the strongest and the favourite. However, Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz is aware of both teams and has not ruled out Mercedes from the title race just yet. If anything, I'm impressed with the car that both Red Bull and Mercedes managed to put together, with less wind tunnel time than us, with the championship fight going on. It just shows they are two very strong teams performing at an incredible level, and at any point in the season they can turn it up and put a strong competition. We just need to keep our heads down and keep maximising our chances. But at the same time, I also trust the development capacity of our team. I think this year's car proves it. It's a car that is very well thought out, with some special concepts to it. So I really trust the people behind it, and I'm sure we can develop. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos. So what are your thoughts on Mercedes' slump this season? Do you think they'll be able to recover? If not, who do you think will be the fiercest of the two rivals this year, Red Bull or Ferrari? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below.